Hello viewers, welcome to Sarxology. Let me ask you a few questions. Do you enjoy performing aerobics? Or have you ever danced in a party for a long time? Or do you enjoy working in a gym? If yes, did you ever overdo any of these things? Then what was your feeling after that? You may have felt pain in your body, right? So, do you know what is the reason for this pain? It's exactly your muscles that were exhausted, tensed, and tired. These are the muscles which you put to work, mostly where the thigh or the calf muscles in the gym. But if you are dancing, you put your biceps, triceps along with your leg muscles and the abs as well. So, some commonly known muscles include the biceps, triceps, hamstrings, gluteus maximus, the ab muscles, and many more to name. These are muscles attached to your skeleton and thus called skeletal muscles. They have long cells which are called the muscle fibers. They have a connective tissue cover but no capsule. The plasma lemma of the muscle tissues is known as sarcolemma, and each muscle cell is called a sarcomere. Cytoplasm of these muscle cells is called sarcoplasm, which are present with numerous myofibrils. The study of muscle cells is called Sarxology, and they bring about the movement or locomotion in the body. When these muscle cells are predominantly compressed, or the sarcomeres, which are highly specialized for contraction, they allow mobility in the body. Each myofibril is made up of a thick and long myosin filament and a thin and a short actin filament. These provide a banded appearance of the muscle cells, so called the striated muscles. These striated muscles have compressed myofibrils where it forms the dark band, and then loosely held myofibrils where it is called the light band. These muscle cells are also supplied with nerve endings which are provided by the somatic nervous tissue. These nerve endings allow us to move those body parts according to our will, where skeletal muscles are present because of the nervous connections. Now, these are therefore also known as voluntary muscles. Structurally, unlike most other cells, these skeletal muscles, or so called the voluntary muscles, are multinucleated, which help them to grip their working in a very steady order. The study of muscular movement is called kinesiology. Movement is usually a joint effect of the muscles and the bones. So, the striated muscles are connected to a bone by structures which are specially called the tendons. So, a skeletal muscle is connected to a bone by a flexible structure which is called the tendon. These muscles contract and the tendon helps them to stay connected and bring about smooth movements in the body. Tendons are prominently present where the biceps, triceps, and other such muscles are connected to the bones. In a typical structure, the muscles are bundled together with connective tissue sheath, and this is called the endomysium. So each muscle fiber is covered by endomysium and the entire muscle is covered by epimysium. When a group of muscle fibers are bundled as a unit within a whole muscle, it is known as a fascicle. A group of fascicles form a muscle. The connective tissue sheath covering such a muscle is called epimysium. Perimysium is a continuous layer of collagenous connective tissue that separates the skeletal muscle tissue into muscle fascicles. So the different coverings in the muscle are the epimysium, next the perimysium, and then the endomysium. These are all protective and they help the muscles to prevent wear and tear. So recollecting together, the skeletal muscles are attached to the bones or the skeletal part of the body. Each cell is called a sarcomere and they have light and dark bands, multicellular and voluntary in nature. The next are the smooth muscles. Even inside our body, there are lots of movement which are not visible from outside. But these movements inside the viscera of the body are brought about by the smooth muscles. Each smooth muscle is spindle shaped or fusiform that tapers at its ends and are little fat at the center. They are uninucleated cells. In smooth muscles, the thin and the thick filaments are not well organized or properly oriented. They are not under the control of will. That is why we call the smooth muscles as involuntary muscles. They remain contracted for a long period of time. Like, do you have a control over the peristaltic movement in your digestive tract? The answer is no, because these are mostly made up of the smooth muscles. In smooth muscles, there are two layers. Firstly, there is a longitudinal layer, which is made up of the muscle fibers that run parallel to the long axis of the organ, such that the contraction will dilate or shorten the organ. Then there is a thin circular layer as well. These muscle fibers which run around the circumference of the organ, when their constriction occurs, this will lead to the contraction and help in the lengthening of the organ. So when these layers alternate contractions, it can push materials through the organ, like in the process of peristalsis. Smooth muscles do not have stripes or striations. Location wise, they are present in the blood vessels, in the respiratory organs like bronchi, in the GI tract, intestines, excretory vessels, genitals, and the other internal organs in the viscera. That is why we may also call them as the visceral muscles. Finally, coming to the most specialized muscles called cardiac muscles. These cardiac muscles are structurally striated and they are located precisely in the heart muscles. So we call them as cardiomyocytes. They form myocardium in the vertebrates. Each muscle fiber is short, cylindrical, branched, mostly with one centrally located nucleus, but it may also possess two nuclei at times. Joints may be observed between them, and intercalated discs with gap junctions are present to conduct the electric impulses through them. An excited myocardial cell quickly excites the other myocardial cells in the surrounding and cause easy excitation. Due to this, the cardiac contraction happen uniformly, allowing ions to move from one to the other or the next cell. Innervated by the autonomic nervous system, these conduction of impulses are involuntary. Cardiac muscles contract and relaxes automatically. It just happens automatically without a thought being given to it, working as an efficient pump. When cardiac muscles contract, the myosin filament pulls the actin filaments towards each other, causing the cell to shrink. The cell uses adenosine triphosphate or ATP to power this contraction. A single myosin filament connects to two actin filaments on either side, forming a unit called sarcomere. The intercalated discs, they connect the cardiac muscle cells. Gap junctions relay electrical impulses from one cardiac muscle to another. Desmosomes hold the cardiac muscles together. The pacemaker cells generate the electrical impulses or action potentials that control the heart rate and the speed at which the heart pumps blood. This is how the working of the cardiac muscles is very highly specialized. They are involuntary in their function, but they are striated in their structure. And what is special about them is that they are highly branched as well. The cardiac muscles present in the heart do not get tired in a lifetime. It starts beating from the time it is produced in the embryo, and then it keeps on pumping the blood and the heart keeps beating till we take our last breath. In the next video, we'll continue with the animal tissues, the final one being the neural or the nervous tissue. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel.